the entertainment industry, something that connects us globally, and each and every one of us has a high exposure to. But what does it really take to be successful in entertainment? Is it a good beat? Is it a good story? Or is there something more that is needed in that formula to make the whole asset more successful? So, speaking on that, we have with us a legend in the Sri Lankan entertainment industry, a person who really needs no introduction, Mr. Santhush Weeraman, joining with us on What's Brewing with CIM today. Santhush, thank you for joining with us on the show.
Hello, how are you? And nice to be here. Thank you.
So, Santhush, we have a lot of questions.
Can ask anything.
Yes. So the first question we have is now we understand that you're also the managing director of SGM Films and you spend your time with BNS Productions as well. So that takes up a lot of your expertise and you have probably learned a lot along the way. How do you see, and you have seen a lot of change in the industry, how do you see the role of marketing impacting this entertainment industry over the course of the years? Has there been great changes or has it been an incremental change? What is the impact?
I would say entertainment industry. I would like to say it is an industry which to do with expression, art, right? So you express what you feel, and then there is creativity that stems from you, and you want to express it in different forms. Then comes this aspect of marketing, as you said, right? So if you try to make marketing the focus of your expression, then you could lose the creativity.
The value of it.
Yes. But then if you understand the concepts of marketing and let it help you to focus better, target better, or make your message more effective, right? And sometimes even to understand the concept better, focus on the concept better, and bring out your creativity in a far more effective way to the audience that you really want, and they feel it to the core by the usage of the concepts of marketing. I think you created something absolutely great, and that piece of art or that piece of work, right? Is digested by the public, and it is loved by the people, and so that creates a stronger, better entertainment industry. But let's say in certain spaces of art or in the entertainment industry, if you would not want to care too much about the target audience, it is just about a particular piece of expression that you want, obviously you're not focusing about a target, like about a particular segment of audience. It is just your whole soul expression. Of course, that space is there, but for an industry to prosper, right, for a country to have a strong entertainment industry, the core marketing elements is of utmost importance. Then only it becomes effective, even the entertainment, to move out of the country, right? Whatever discipline, it could be music, art, film, entertainment, plays, whatever, that art form becomes more effective to move out of the country and, touch the hearts of the people in the globe.
So you would definitely agree to the fact that marketing is what would take some creative piece of work and make it more commercially viable.
Yeah, but, the concepts of marketing is important. What you say is true because, like, for example, now, if we are to take a particular film to China or a particular song to China, or if you want to create this global sound of Sri Lanka, the concepts of marketing will make you understand
How to get there?
how to model it. The creativity of the melody, the lyrics, the expression, the core idea, that is creative, right? But the modeling, sometimes, marketing helps. If I may tell you, I think like a secret recipe for Sri Lanka, right? What happens most of the time, we try to take what is Sri Lanka to the world by adding international flavor into whatever we are creating.
Okay.
Right? So then your final product is a very Sri Lankan product with international flavor. That would be digested as a very international flavored thing in the country because it has it. But if you take that kind of a product to the world, that would be seen as a something from Sri Lanka, but it is difficult for the international people to digest because it doesn't have the model or the platform or the structure of the global listenership or the global consumption.
What they are usually
What they are
appealing to.
used to, like their whole the consumer behavior, right? It is not it that the model we create doesn't fit into that because it is still Sri Lankan. But if we get a global structure, right, an international structure, and then add Sri Lankan flavor into it, right?
That's what
That
the
would
delay
be
is.
sometimes even treated like a disastrous thing, saying that we are changing the culture, this, that within the country. But you take that outside, that modeling is easily accepted because now that can be perceived easily by the global audience because it fits that structure. It is made in the international structure. So the secret recipe is about understanding the international structure and adding Sri Lankan flavor into that. If you do it the other way, it becomes a difficult thing to take Sri Lankan, whatever Sri Lankan, any product, service, commodity outside to the globe.
So I think we're starting the show off very strong. Santhush has already shared the secret ingredient of how to make entertainment business more viable, and that's great. Thank you for sharing with that. Santhush, you've had an extensive and illustrious career, and I'm sure you would have worked on countless state projects and even private sector industries.
Yeah.
So, how do you see the power of entertainment in being a bridge between the state industries and private sector, in taking a common message out to the masses, or even not so common at times?
Yeah, so look, I mean, so saying how to bridge, different industries using entertainment, right? So how to create a impactful marketing solution using entertainment within all these industries, right? So whether it's private sector or public sector, first of all, what does entertainment do? Right? As we discussed before, it creates expression, it creates that movement with people, it takes people to another space.
Absolutely, it brings us together. It heals the soul.
Yeah. So it is so simple. Whatever marketing communication, whatever marketing objectives, whatever, business development ideas and, business plans and all these things you have, and if it's to do with marketing, a certain space can be filled with your solutions of pricing and distribution and your marketing mix, right? You could do all the advertising and the digital marketing and everything under the sun, right? You could do that, but imagine all of that without art and music. It will be a boring place, right? So the moment you bring art and music into it, there is life created. So that life is created by the entertainment industry. So it is critical for any commodity, for any product or service to use entertainment as a bridging gap, right? To make your marketing way more effective. Because art creates life, right? Whether it's a plastic bottle or a chair or anything like that, right? Sound, music, visuals gives life into it, right? That's how, like, for example, if you take a person who does not have a sound, who does not have a visual appeal, if he comes to a place and goes out, you wouldn't notice.
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
That is the truth, right? But if that person has a strong concept, but if it is, spoken, if the sound is heard on in a very appealing way, if it is attractive, at the same time visually, if there is some impact, that's going to create way more effective in that room. It will be way more effective. So entertainment is very important to any industry, right? So understanding the mediums, how we do it, that is the next challenge in the world, right? So very short and sweet, entertainment is critical to all industries. So there can be different forms of expression of entertainment, or different use of art and music and all these things, but entertainment creates life to any industry, to any product. So bringing that into your marketing mix, into your communication mix is, I think, critical. I think, for example, I'll tell you Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has been one super brand that has done it well. I mean, that, done the creating a sound, creating those visuals, the colors, a particular thing, are the biggest brands in the world, right? And you take Apple, right? Getting those shapes and all these things, there's a lot of things. So entertainment industry is very important.
Very important. We cannot live without it. Simple. So, as we speak of the entertainment value, if we look beyond the entertainment value of this industry, and if we really look at the economic contribution from music, art, film, how do you see that playing out in Sri Lanka, and how do you rate its significance, especially at this juncture where the country is really trying to develop and do better?
So I think that's a brilliant question you asked, because it is very timely and the country needs an answer as to what you asked. Short and sweet, Sri Lanka needs a ministry for entertainment,
Yes.
right? We have a minister for culture, art, but nothing for entertainment as such. The reason I'm saying is, now, as a country, we feel that we will have the dollars coming into the country through tourism.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
that's
That's a focal point.
That is where we feel salvation is, like, okay, we can bring the big dollars from tourism. Now, when a tourist comes to the country, what do they get exposed to? Right? We sell the sand, water, history, our here, say the forest, and the culture and all these things. But at the end of the day, what they're looking for is an entertainment.
That's true. That's why they're here.
They're looking for entertainment solution. So if our entertainment industry in Sri Lanka, the arts, culture, all those things is not structured, we can't fuel that. We cannot create a vibrant, we can't create vibrant solutions for the tourists. Right? Short and sweet, I'll tell you something like that. For example, let's say Sigiriya. We market Sigiriya. So we have Sigiriya, and then we talk about the history, the kingdom of Kashyapa, the history, all those things. But what we need to give them is, when they go back home, when they sit at the dinner table, they need to have that story.
To share.
That is what we do, right? We need to have, but it is not about telling us how proud we are about the irrigation system we had during at that time, and then we were able to create, bring water there, and it's not, and about the Kashyapas, the drawings. It's not about that. So we need a beautiful story for the tourists to take home. Right? Now, do we create that? What are the products that we have created within the country for them to absorb that, right? That experience we give them, right? When they, and when they come to Colombo, does the entire country have one story about Sigiriya, right? So we need to get the education reforms also done, that the entire country believes in one story, that is the story they narrate. Whether it's a tuk-tuk driver or a CEO, they share that same entertainment, story, right? So now, apart from that, so we need to really understand the country with the sand and the water, right? The beach, right? The forest, and all these things. We need to have this. We need to have these beautiful stories, right? Then bring entertainment around it, art, dance, culture, all those things, the events around it. So to do that, we need to safeguard the creativity of the Sri Lankan creator. That means the copyrights need to come in. So then, when these copyrights are protected by the government, the international companies who invest their money in intellectual property, creating intellectual property, they come to Sri Lanka and they invest.
Then becomes
Right?
industry.
Yes.
That is more
Like, for example, if you take the world of DreamWorks, right? Warner Brothers, all these are companies who create intellectual property. In Sri Lanka, do we have one blue chip company who is in the entertainment industry? If we are to drive the country to tourism, and for tourism, if entertainment if entertainment is a vital thing, our country does not have one company, one blue chip company who is in the entertainment industry. Yes, pharmaceutical, say architecture, or FMCG, or insurance, or hospital, I mean medical, whatever industry we have all these companies, real estate, all these things, blue chip companies who have invested millions, and even international companies who have come to the country with FDIs. Entertainment industry, we don't have a single company, right?
So something we had to really think
So,
about.
so we need to look at the infrastructure for them, because it is entertainment that will create life for the country, right? So if you are to take the country outside, if we are to take the country to the world, that has to be marketed. Properties need to be created, right? So that's all entertainment. The sound and the music and how people see this country, the history, the value, the hope of the nation. This is the next biggest thing in South Asia. And the great thing is, majority of the world don't know much about Sri Lanka. So that is an advantage for us. Should not take a disadvantage.
We
Right?
can carve out our
I mean,
space.
you and I
Yes.
both know about the Aboriginals. You and I both know about the pygmies in Africa. All these things we know, but very few people know about Sri Lanka itself. So if we market this, if we bring this out using entertainment, right? All industries, like for example, if you take the tea plantation nowadays, some of the tea plantations are making more revenue through boutique hotels, creating that absolute beautiful product which has that entertainment aspect, than through tea. So every industry needs this. So tourism industry, if it's to flourish, this is important in a big way, so that every citizen of the country understands the core mechanism of entertainment, the core mechanism of communication. Final story that we tell the world as a country, right? Then bringing marketing into it to create an identity for the country, right? I'm just going more beyond.
That's completely
Because entertainment is not just song, music, dance, and fiesta. No, there is always a co-element, right? So as a country, do we have that co-element as Sri Lankans? What is the identity of our country? As Sri Lankans, what is our identity? Our identity is rested within the flag. So when you say Sri Lankan, top of the mind recall is Sinhala, Muslim, Tamil, the races.
That's true.
Yes, we are a country united within all these races. That is our identity. That's what you and I feel, right? Is that a powerful identity for us to take to the world?
The story could be bigger.
Do you think the world cares about that? Do you think the next generation, say the child who's to be born, is going to be concerned about that? No. So now if you take Japan, their flag, their identity, as a Japanese, what they feel is we are the land of, we are the people, the land of the rising sun. There is hope. So their identity is not fixed on a tangible thing. It's on an intangible, futuristic thing which is with hope. You take the American flag, the people, this is the land of the dreams, right? There is hope. Yes, we'll make it. So same way, Sri Lankans, our identity should not be rested with races or religious things. It should be some common thing to everyone. A very futuristic, hopeful thing that yes, us as a nation, we have all these resources in this little island, and we are going to be the next biggest thing in South Asia. That is Sri Lanka. We have so much to offer to the world, and there are people waiting to explode, to give this out to the world. That is the spirit of Sri Lanka. So you mix that with tourism, right? Bringing that entertainment aspects to all areas. Every tourist is going to absorb this beautiful Sri Lankan spirit of the smile and everything, wanting, oh my God, these are a bunch of people, 20 million people, were something different to offer to the world, and they want to share that experience, share that excitement they have as Sri Lankans with the world. Yes, we want to go to Sri Lanka, experience their food. Their food has this excitement where they want to share it with the rest of the world. It's something novel, right? So package it nicely so that so they can consume it within their structure, right? So all these areas. So arts, culture, food, we have so much. Our irrigation system, Varikarmanta, and all those we say, but we need to structure it in a way that they understand. So now, so do you understand?
Yeah.
Entertainment industry is utmost needed for the country
creates
to
life.
grow. But most of all, understanding the core value of what is Sri Lankan, creating a new identity. It's something very future. It should be something very futuristic. All what we have is very past oriented. This is what we have been, and yes, we are together. No. Something very futuristic, creating an identity using entertainment. We have a future. So short and sweet, to put all these things together. You see, this is a very, very deep subject. To put all these things together, we need a Ministry of Entertainment.
So I think that we can really, as a person who truly understands the industry, I can feel the passion when you're really saying these things. You truly believe in the way forward, and that's really great to see that people like you are, lobbying for such kind of reforms, if at all. So if you talk a little bit about your work that you've done in the event space, now surely the way we have approached live entertainment to how it has been made publicly accessible has changed over the years, and it's clear that marketing has made an impact in this, especially in how the everyday consumers actually engage with these events. How do you think it has happened? Like, how has the events kind of gone from one level to another with the help of marketing?
I think in the events industry, I think bringing some focus and planning and like a way forward through marketing, right? That has helped the event industry structure better. And even the companies who wants to have events in connection with, they have had more focus and understanding. So I think short and sweet, the effectiveness of the event has, gone to the betterment, right? You could see bigger events with a better focus that's happening in the country. And if you take the great events, even in the past of the country, with a good marketing focus, with a good product formulation, they have had, it has worked out well. If I take you, back into the history, Mr. Vikrathnaika's Saprasangaya.
It's
Saprasangaya, if you really take the core of it, the product is very tight, right? A lot of marketing ingredients in it. With regard to the art form and the creative part, that has happened effortlessly. That is beautiful. But if you look at, if you look at the entire thing in a different angle, you see aspects of marketing in it. Knowingly or unknowingly, it has happened. So now, if you go to the world, Les Miserables or like Bombay Dreams of Andrew Lloyd Webber, those type of shows and concerts have beautiful structure. So you could see those things coming into the country, and then Sri Lanka creating those things. And for example, now putting songs and music together, and without just creating a show, right? We went to the space of creating a show called Hadagasma. Right? Now, Hadagasma is not just us singing. This is where the audience goes to a place, a particular core area, right, of a space. Whereas, when we get on stage and sing, that it is fine. We are expressing what we have done. But when we are at the studio, when we are making songs, when we are recording it for the first time, we are hitting a different place. We are hitting the core of the subject matter and trying to express and feel that. So imagine if we can recreate that space. So we bring in a close audience, we recreate how these songs were made. These were the places we went. And that's to do with our heart. Hadagasma is all about, then it's Hadagasma, we are sharing it with people. So there is a core subject matter, that creates the entire show. So Marketing is all about understanding a core thing and then creating a beautiful marketing mix support, So creating structure into a show, bringing discipline and bringing in a core value into the show creates
The returns.
like a more effective experience to the audience, right? So if you take the country, the more creations we have like this, and if we can create international creations, as like for example, now I'm connecting with your earlier question, right? For example, for people, if there is a play for the tourists to go through and in different languages like Kueni or see the Scarshipper story, right? That's going to be really great for the people. So short and sweet, bringing in structure into entertainment will create way more effective solutions.
And we have progress in that direction.
We had. I think because if you take India and Sri Lanka, India was revolving around the film industry, whereas Sri Lankan film industry didn't have a silver line during the last, starting from 2000 onwards, it has not been the greatest. So people have been, revolving around the music industry and the shows. So our show industry is very, very vibrant compared to the Indian music industry. Now you could see the Indian music industry is waking up, right? But Sri Lanka has a lot to offer in that, in those terms to the world, and of
should take
course,
the best of it.
marketing is needed to create a beautiful event.
Okay. All right. So this actually, I mean, thank you so much. You have shared so many insights, and I don't say this with the greatest pleasure, but we have one last question for you before we exit the show. And so we've been talking a lot about, and you also shared your sentiments about how we need to be futuristic in how we approach the entertainment industry for its sustained success. That being said, we do have some traditional aspects, and we do have a long history and traditional form of arts that we're kind of attached to. How do we balance this mix of traditional versus futuristic, more digital, modern sort of entertainment to create something that is still authentic and Sri Lankan, but also caters to the future world?
So you have a couple of questions within that question, right? So if we are to take Sri Lankanness in whichever art form you choose to the world, the secret ingredient is putting Sri Lankan flavor into an international structure, and you create that art form on that, right? So music, it's the same thing, right? If you want to create, if you want to create if your target audience is Japanese, you need to understand the Japanese structure and put Sri Lankan flavor into the Japanese structure and create your art form and create your expression and whatever, song, play, novel, anything, right? I would say even food. If you are to export food, if you are to export the Sri Lankan element to Japan, you think sending a butt packet is going to work? Right? Having a hopper stall is going to work? No, Japanese don't consume their food like that. Right? They have those, it is different, right? So we need to understand how they consume food, their consume behavior, their structure, and then be creative how to put Sri Lankan ingredients into that structure. So that needs lots of creativity. As in, for example, I'll tell you, Thailand, in order to bring tourists to the country, right, they realized that they need to export their food. They need to make Thai food a global product. So the government took the initiative of creating pad Thai noodles. Right? It was an artificially created thing. They took rice and they created the pad Thai noodle. That was a government invested project. Right? Because eating rice and all the Thai stuff, the way they consume food was too difficult for the international community to consume. So it won't get translated. But then pad Thai noodle is something that you can consume either for a fork or a chopstick or whatever, right? Majority in the world. So they created that. That was investment done by the government to create pad Thai noodle. That was a created thing. right? So
That's a
today,
very strong insight. I don't think a lot of people really know this.
that's what I'm saying. So we need to get that, understand structure. So our food, we have beautiful food. I mean, the Sri Lankan food is lovely, but we need to translate that into something that the global audience can consume. Right? That is how you export. Right? So you need not, and you should export not only what you see, even what you don't see can be exported. The intellectual property we have can be exported, right? If the British can export Harry Potter to the entire world, why are we not exporting our modern literature? Why have we stopped from Gumper earlier? Right? So we need to encourage our new, the creative people, the writers, strengthen their rights, right? Bring all those things. So, and also, right, going back to your question, um, the traditional creatives and all those things we have, and then are trying to understand the digital form, right? I think now we are in a particular space where the digital form is also changing, right? So now, for example, like the song that was there in the 2000s, right? If we are to give it the same way, it won't work because the elements are changing, right? Even the digital forms are changing right now. In the sense, have you noticed, right? This is a personal thing, right? Have you noticed that now you consume more shorts
Of
in
course,
YouTube
yes.
than long format?
We just scroll up,
Yes.
maybe
Now,
1, 2 seconds.
1 year ago,
Yes.
right, we would watch the long version of the content. Right? That is the reason we would go to YouTube. But now, if it's like Facebook or Instagram, we will be scrolling and there'll be all short form content. But now even YouTube is pushing that. Why? They can place more advertisements within short form content and they make more revenue, and there is a less payout for short form content, so their profitability is much more, so they make more, so they will want you to consume more short form content, but they will not stop the long form content, because if someone basically is pulled in by YouTube, right? The customer has been pulled into YouTube because now they know there is a particular drama, they know what they want to watch, so they will search that and watch that. They will watch the long term, so that is also there. But if you just go in, what they will push will be short form content. So if it's a brand new content and there is no pull in from the customers, from the consumer, from that side, if you want to push something, short form is now needed. But now a song that was created, or like whatever creativity that was created years ago, was all long form content. A song is also now long form content compared to songs in the 20, 30, 40 years ago,
The definition.
right? Because
is
at those days in the 80s, a song was around 4 to 5 minutes. Then it becomes 4 minutes. Now it is even shorter. Now with short form in the type shorts coming in, it has got even shorter. And if I a best example, I'll tell you. I think one of the most beautifully orchestrated campaigns and very successful campaigns was Johanni's song "Chuttak Chuttak." There are a lot of people who have not heard the song,
But they remember those
but they
words.
remember that little bit, "Chuttak Chuttak." Everyone in the country knows "Chuttak Chuttak." A lot of people haven't heard the song, but they know that. Why? Because it was pushed from the short form, right? And then because of that, people must have got pulled in to listen to the song. So it has happened. So in the future, it is going to be, not easy for the creator to create, because it won't be so easy as in the old days, because what is pushed out from the content aggregators is now short form. It's not the long form of content. But song has always been a long form of content, at least 2 minutes. I mean, if you're going to create a 30-second song, for me it is very, very short. But you never know, right?
It may just become the norm.
Yeah, because it has been, right? If you take years, sorry, I'm taking a long time to answer your thing. This is evolution, and you need to respect that. If you take during the 1800s, song went on 15, 20 minutes, like Mozart, Beethoven songs are really, really long. Why? The, the, the distribution point was the theater. So we would sit and we have no option but to sit and consume that for 15 minutes of that particular sonata. Then went to radio, TV. Also, it was getting shorter because the distribution channel was different. So now in the digital age, it is transforming again into short form into 30 seconds or even less. Now
Even
the
30 seconds is a lot.
yeah. So it is very challenging for the creator now to create something. So the whole modeling of a song will also change. And if you have to evolve and if you have to compete with the world, sometimes we need to change too with the norms. Yeah.
Interesting. So, Santhush, thank you so much. I think that was really interesting. We know you as a musician. We know most of us know you as a entertainment legend. Have grown up listening to your music, and but to listen to this part of your expertise in terms of how marketing has really played a role and continues to play a role in this particular entertainment industry is nothing short of inspiring. So, thank you again for taking your time to join us, and we wish you all the good luck in your next endeavor. And signing off for this episode of What's Brewing with CIM. Stay tuned for more.